So here we are to protect American lives and values. We are passing today a war powers resolution to limit the president's military actions. The administration must de-escalate and must prevent further violence. America and the world cannot afford war. Protecting the American people is our first responsibility. Protect and defend, an oath we take, not only of our Constitution, but of the American people. And I, from my intelligence background, know just how bad Soleimani was. It's not because we expect good things from them, but we expect great things from us. Now, in terms of impeachment, you will keep asking me the same question. I keep giving you the same answer. As I said right from the start, we need to see the arena in which we are sending our managers. Is that too much to ask? I hear that they might want to, you've probably heard one way or another, some of them have suggested they might want to dismiss. Dismiss equals cover-up. Dismiss equals admission that you're afraid of the facts, the truth, the witnesses, and the documentation. We are concerned that the senators will not be able to live up to the oath that they must take to have an impartial trial. We also were proud to pass the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement, which is sitting over in the Senate. It's sitting over there with maybe 400 bills we've sent over, more than 275 of them bipartisan legislation. One of them we observed yesterday, the 9th anniversary of the assault on Gabby Giffords' life. This is a bullet that I wear. That's of the highest priority, because if they would pass this bill, it would save lives, the bill to have sensible background check legislation. Build bigger paychecks by building the infrastructure. And this coming week, in the next period of time, our chairman, led by Chairman DeFazio of the Infrastructure and Transportation Committee, will be putting forth our most current initiative on I say climate because you can't do infrastructure without having a recognition of resilience and green technologies. So that's where we are there. This week, Bolton announced that he would comply with a subpoena compelling his testimony. His lawyers have stated he has new relevant information. These and other our investigation and our articles necessitate a fair trial with documents and witnesses. They don't want documents, the documentation. They don't want witnesses. They may want a dismissal, which is proof that they cannot clear the president of the wrongdoing that he has put forth.
So are you willing to hold the articles indefinitely?
No, I'm not holding them indefinitely. I'll send them over when I'm ready. We must avoid war. And the cavalier attitude of this administration, it's stunning. And the president just say, I inform you by reading my tweets. No, that's not the relationship that our founders had in mind in the Constitution of the United States when they gave power to the president, to the White House, to do one thing in terms of our national security, and to the Congress to declare war and to allocate resources and the rest. We have no illusions about Iran, no illusions about Soleimani. He was a terrible person, did bad things. But it's not about how bad they are. It's about how good we are. We all would die for our country. We take pride in saying that. But to kill for our country is a pretty traumatic thing. So when we want to engage in these whatever you want to call this that the president engaged in, we have to be really careful about how we endanger our men and women in uniform who courageously, patriotically put themselves out there to protect and defend. So who's president, a Democrat or Republican? How much power, confidence do you have in that person, regardless of party, to execute an AUMF? Putting the shoe on the other foot, if the United States had a high level, maybe the second most important person in the country, assassinated wherever, the United States might consider that assault on our country, right? And the Iranians might as well, even though this took place at the Iraqi airport. And so it's foggy. There are those who think, well, it was in Iraq, so it counts. Or it was an assault on Iran, so it shouldn't count. I don't think there's anybody who thinks that AUMF would apply in Iran. It is, it needs to be addressed, rewritten, because we have to have an authorization of use of military force specific to the danger that we are addressing. It's one person to speak for the House and one person to speak for the White House. Did you know that? 1986. So is that the rule under which they're going? That all we want to know is, what are the rules? It doesn't mean we have to agree to the rules or we have to like the rules. We just want to know what they are. So getting back to sports, because that's all we live, right? Football, college, high school, professional. Do we send in our team, or do we have to send in special team as well as the team? Because we have to know what that trial is about. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Going to the Niners game? You going to the Niners game?
It would be my intention to go. I went to the one game in San Francisco. We watched all together the second game in Seattle. I have, unfortunately, responsibilities to save our country from peril this weekend. So I am on my Democratic, wearing that hat of political leader this weekend. So my family will enjoy our season tickets at the 49er game. And then next week, well, get one game at a time. And then we'll see about
Baltimore, San Francisco Super Bowl.
Well, we had the Baltimore at San Francisco Super Bowl, and that was hard because I had been rooting for both teams all along, right? And again, going to the 49er games and watching the Baltimore games on TV right there at the stadium. So what happens if they both win? Nobody was in a more difficult situation than I, than the mother of the coaches, brothers coaching the teams. And then you saw what happened at that game. But the D'Alessandros from Baltimore came all dressed in purple, and the Pelosis from San Francisco all came in red, and we had a lovely family reunion. This time, I hope that we'd get a similar result, that we'd have both teams in the... I already, because of my, shall we say, responsibilities to win the House for the Democrats and hopefully the Electoral College for the American people, I was scheduled to be in Florida that weekend. So I'm all set. I'm all set. One way or another.
Do you think Harry and Meghan will move to California?
Who knows? We're talking about Tom Brady. I mean, who knows? Who knows what happens with all this? But isn't it interesting? And it's wonderful because it's so unifying. You know, everybody, whatever your politics or whatever, forget it. It's about the team. And we all like to say, and we all believe that we're all Team USA. So however it turns out. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.